according to scientific research. This is the best word to start using Wordle. If you've been on any social media platform in the past 2 weeks, you've probably seen a grid of green, yellow and black squares. This is the latest pandemic phenomenon called Wordle, a free online game that gives users a new word puzzle each day. It was created by Josh Wardle for his crossword-loving partner. As of January 10th, the game has 2.7 million players. In Wordle, players have 6 tries to guess a target 5-letter word. Every time they make a guess, they are told which letters in their guess are in the word, and in the correct position, and which letters are in it, but in a different position. It's sort of like the board game Mastermind, but with a key difference. In Mastermind, all 6 colors were equally likely to appear in the target. In Wordle, because guesses and targets all have to be real words, some letters are more likely to appear, making some guesses better than others. This leads to a question that I've seen people discussing at length online. What is the best first word to guess? For now, let's define the best first guess as the one that is most likely to share the most letters with the target word. What we need to know is, how common are each of the 26 letters in 5-letter English words? And not just in any 5-letter words, those that have a chance of showing up as targets. Obscure words like Nisus or Winzen need not apply. I found a recent study that looked at over 60,000 English words and how well known they were. This sort of statistic is interesting for language researchers like me because it captures something about how easily a word can be processed. On average, more commonly known words are read faster. I took all 5-letter words that were known by at least 50% of those studied. Then I counted the number of times each letter appeared at least once in a word. The most common letter was E, appearing in 46% of words. This is a well-known pattern that applies to the English language in general. A notable exception is George Percy's novel A Void, which was purposefully written without the letter E. This pattern was even used by Sherlock Holmes in The Adventure of the Dancing Men to decode a cipher made up of dancing stick figures by reasoning that the most common symbol would be E. One reason that E is so common was the advent of silent S at the end of words in the 16th century, used to signal something about the preceding sounds. For example, tone is pronounced differently than ton. The next most common letters were A, R, O, and INS, tied for 5th. Out of these 6 letters, one word immediately arose as the best option. Want an especially bad first guess? Try W hump. That is just about the worst by this metric. But while arose is most likely to get you letters in the target, they may not be in the correct positions. If we want a word that is most likely to get letters in their correct positions, the best option is Sammy. But let's not stop there. If we put these approaches together into one final score, we get a word that looks eerily familiar. Source arrows, but in a more strategic order. One final thing to note. While writing this article, I found that people had gotten into the source code for the Wordle website and found the actual list of words that can appear as targets. I decided not to use that list because I found it more fun to try and answer the question with available language resources. Also, that list might change and I wanted to find a more general answer. But, just to put your mind at ease, when I do all of the above with that list of official Wordle targets, SOR ends up being the best once again. So there you have it. Now what you do with guesses 2 through 6 is up to you. This article by David Sidhu, postdoctoral research fellow, Psychology and Language Sciences, UCL, is republished from The Conversation under a Creative Commons license. Read the original article.